Hello everybody, this is Mr. Robin. Welcome back to another episode of the Dallas Wings, my WNBA franchise here on NBA 2K26. For today, we're going to open 3-20, the first game in the post-All-Star break portion of the season against the 13-10 Seattle Storm at the Key Arena. Hopefully the second half of the season fares much better than the first, as we are coming off a win, though, in our last game against the Las Vegas Aces before the All-Star break, so hopefully that can carry over into the second half of the season. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more MyWNBA content, as within the next couple of weeks, we'll be done with year number 1 here in this franchise. I cannot wait to get more to you. Here's a look at the lineups for both teams. One thing you'll notice from the Wings, no Paige Bueckers in the lineup today. She's going to get an extended All-Star break. She played in the All-Star game, and she averages the second most minutes per game out of any player in the WNBA, and I think she deserves an extra game off. And we're 3-20, so right now it doesn't look like we're really competing. So might as well give her the game off. She has not missed a game all season. But we're underway here in Seattle. The first possession of the game is a turnover for the Storm. And on the other end, James finds Yuru in the paint, and she will miss. Get her own rebound and score. So a hot start to the game from both sides. Now 2-0. Here's James again on the break as she pulls up for the mid-range and hits the shot. Isaiah James, the rookie, with the score. 4-2 now as Tasha Harris getting the start at point guard today will get it up on the pick and roll, and the Wings are up to a 8-2 lead as Maddie Segrist off of the miss on the free throw. The Storm quickly pushing the pace, and this ball is bubbled around before Skylar Diggins gets it for the score. Ugly possession there, but it's a score nonetheless. But then the Wings come right back, up 12-4 all of a sudden in this game. A hot start for Dallas, despite no Paige Bueckers in the lineup today. Hines Allen for 3 on the pick and pop, and she will nail it. It's been good to have her back from injury. She has done a good job, not only on the offensive end, but on the defensive end as well. Here's Dominique Malagna, the number 2 overall pick from France, getting it up and in on the nice pick and roll. Good find by Brittany Sykes. 17-6 now, cutting Tasha Harris, the former Connecticut Sun guard, has 2 points. It's 19-6 as the Wings are coming out firing all cylinders, but Brittany Sykes, the former Mystique, will get it up and in on the nice hop step. 19-8 now your score, cutting Malagna inside, and she will score. Only averaging 5 points per game this year is the rookie, but she has been a good part of this rotation, as that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Dallas out in front, 19-10 after a very good start to the ball game for the road squad. Let's see if they can keep the momentum in the second quarter. As here we are 3 minutes in, it's 25-15 now as the Wings with the ball. Harris gets the screen left side. She will drive to the lane, and she'll give it to Giselle Soter, who will score off of the backboard. It's been great to have her back from injury. She missed a ton of time, but she's back in the lineup, and she has been a welcome addition to the team. Skylar Diggins, the now 7-time All-Star, will get it up and in, as it's now 27-17. And then Diggins on the next drive, she's not going to score, but she's going to find a wide-open Mackenzie Holmes, the third-round pick in 2024 out of Indiana, with a 3-ball. 27-20 now. Diggins gets inside, and she will score on her former team. Played in Dallas for 6 years before a ugly divorce. It's now 27-22. Harris gets it up and in, back to a 7-point lead. Next possession here for the Wings. Lopez Seneschal open in the corner, and she's got it. She doesn't get many minutes these days, but I think she makes the most of them, as it's now a 10-point lead for Dallas. The Diggins inside will cut it back to single digits, as she's on the backdoor cut. 32-24 now your score. Next possession here for the Storm is Diggins again, putting her mark on this game. Posting Harris inside on the crossover. 6 points now. Here's Horston. What a spin move. And she will score. That is Jordan Horston, putting her in the spin cycle. 2-point game now. Harris makes it 4 as Seattle has come back here at the end of the first half. 8 points for Harris on 4 of 6 shooting. It's been a good night for her, and that'll bring us to the end of the first half. Dallas leads this one 34-30 after Seattle with a nice little run there in the second quarter. But Dallas has had the lead most of the game, if not the whole game. 48% shooting. Hines Allen leads the way, 9.7 rebounds. The Storm only shooting 34%, and it is the rookie with 6 points and 10 rebounds in the first half. Get into the second half now. Here's the Wings with the ball to begin the third quarter. As Harris finds herself inside, finds Allen at the basket. A nice pass by Tasha Harris, and Hines Allen getting in the zone. 6-point lead now, but Williams gets to the rack. Gabby Williams up and in. Next possession here off of a Skylar Diggins miss. It's a pick and pop for Hines Allen, and she will make Seattle pay. 7-point lead now here for the Wings, but the next possession, a good find, as that is Diggins to Malonga with the pick and roll. 39-34, Harris for deep, and that's going to hit. That was well beyond the arc. Tasha Harris, 8 points in the first half, has 3 here in the second. And again, the pick and roll for Seattle. That's starting to find its momentum, as Dallas is just late on the switches. Here they are on the switch again, and Diggins blows right by the defender, and they will have to call timeout as they try to reassess how to attack and defend this Seattle pick and roll, as Diggins now with 12 points. Uru for 3 off of the inbounds pass. It's no good, but Hines Allen's with the offensive board, and she'll put it up and in. That's the kind of plays that Hines Allen makes that we were missing when we were going on that 15-game losing streak. There's a nice layup there by Brittany Sykes. Within 4 again on the switch. Slow to react is Segrist. It doesn't seem like the timeout helped Dallas very much on that end. 4-point lead again. A handoff for Wheeler, who gets it off the front of the rim. The former Indiana Fever with a 2-point deficit now. Wheeler again with the ball. Hop step. What a Euro against Sundell. Wheeler's averaging 11 points per game off the bench, 9 tonight. And she's got us tied at 46, and the crowd getting on their feet here in the Key Arena. Sundell, next drive inside, misses, gets her own rebound, gets blocked again by the rim, and now Seattle with a chance to go take the lead. Wheeler will bring it up, stop, there's a man open in the cutting lane, and that's going to be the first lead of the night for the Seattle Storm, as Mackenzie Holmes with the score. Hines Allen, though, quickly ties it back up with a nice layup in the paint. She has 18 points in 21 minutes of play. Next possession here for Seattle as they will call timeouts as this game starting to get going here in the later stages of this one. Both teams playing very competitive basketball, trying to start the second half of the season with a W. Less than a minute to go here in the third quarter. Diggins off the screen will get to the rack again. Just slow off the pick and roll is the Dallas defense. Seattle's fans now on their feet in a packed Key Arena. Harris step back. What a 3-ball by Tasha Harris. And that'll give Dallas again the lead. The next drive, getting to the basket, scoring on all levels of the court. Harris has really shown herself this game, as it's a 3-point lead for the Wings off of the back of her couple of makes going into the final quarter of play. This one should be an exciting game as we continue on down the stretch. Fourth quarter action, here we go. Sundell hands it off for Giesel Solder, who will score inside. That'll be a nice score, make it 55-50. Miller now with it, trying to back down her defender. Diamond Miller spins, and she will score. Nice play there by Diamond Miller, who's been kind of quiet today. 57-50 now. Wheeler trying to get some space off the screen, gives it to Lexi Brown. Miller slow to react, and it's an and one. Lexi Brown, the former Spark, goes to the line. She'll complete the 3-point play. 57-53 now your score. Off of the miss, Horston over to Mule, finds Horston inside, and she will score. 57-55 now your score inside 8 minutes. And Luke is on the court for the Wings. Bueckers' day off is done, and she will get on the floor, and she will score from the mid-range. Need her now at this stage of the game, so she'll get a little bit of action. 59-55, Diggins posting and toasting. That's barbecue chicken. Goes right by Tasha Harris. 16 points, 14 of those coming in the paint. Off of the miss from Sundell for 3. Seattle with another chance to potentially tie it. Nice bounce pass inside for Wheeler, who will score over Bueckers, and we are tied at 59 apiece as the back and forth action continues. Here we are with Harris driving inside. She will finish at the basket, and again Dallas pushes it up by 2. 18 points for Tasha Harris. 4 minutes left to play now. Diggins Euros inside. She misses. Hines Allen with the re. Over to James on the fast break. Uru inside. Nobody guards the Spark, and she will score. The former Spark, that is. And Dallas again up by 2. Seattle gets it close like this as we don't get back on defense. And Dallas retakes the lead. We'll see if that trend continues. Here's Harris with the ball. Gets inside. Finishes tough with the right hand. And again, it's a 2-point lead for Dallas. 2.5 to go now. Diggins gets inside. She will score, and the back and forth continues, but there is a down Storm member. It's Mackenzie Holmes, as they are already without Ezzy Magdabor and Nneka Ogwumike. Thankfully for us, we haven't seen them today, and that's because of that reason. Here's a nice score for Uru to push them back up by 2, as it's now 67 to 65. We're inside 100 seconds. Hines Allen inside. She will score. It's a 4-point lead here for the Wings with 1.5 minutes left to play. Seattle will get the ball inbounds to Diggins. We'll watch them pull up this possession as she tries to work on Harris. Hop steps inside, and Diggins just stakes herself. That's all-star play right there. 22 points for Skylar Diggins. Inside 40 seconds to go now. Here's Harris off the screen. To Hines Allen, going to try to back down the smaller Diggins. This is the mismatch. Finds a wide open Seegers for 3, and she will miss it. It goes in and out. And now the Storm with the ball. A chance to go tie it up here. 4 seconds between the game clock and the shot clock. And Diggins gets by her defender. Over to the rookie Malonga, and she will hit. And we're tied up at 69 apiece. 17 seconds left to play. No timeout by Dallas. I'm assuming they're going to hold for the last possession here. No Paige Bueckers on the court. We'll see what they can draw up. 5 seconds to go. James hands it off for Segrist. This is a busted play, but at the buzzer, Segrist hits the 3. A game winner by Maddie Segrist, and a play that looked busted, but the Dallas Wings come out victorious. What a play by Maddie Segrist to just pull from the 3, and she connects. The big play that defines the night goes the way of Maddie Segrist, and the Dallas Wings win their second straight game by a final score of 72 to 69. What a game this was in the second half of the season. If we get more games like this, that should be a very exciting end to the year as we now move to 4-20. Yes, that does not sound good, but we've won 2 straight, so we're on a winning streak here for the first time this season. Good game by the Storm. Obviously, they did not have 2 of their best players, which helped us out a lot, but we didn't have our best player either. And we got a good game overall. Harris played good, running the point. Hines Allen with a double-double, 20 and 10. And good solid play by the Wings as they're able to get the win. Other scores coming out of the All-Star break. The Stark Spark with an overtime victory over the Mystiques. The Sky continue their hot play as they beat the Minnesota Lynx this week. And the Fever go to New York and beat the defending champions 74 to 69. And the Aces will beat the Dream. The next night, the Dream will lose to the Mercury. So an 0-2 start for Atlanta. And then the very next day, the Sparks will beat the Sun. The Aces with the close one on the road over Indiana. And the Sky win again. They beat the Storm 63 to 58. That'll get us into our next game post All-Star break. We'll play this one as well, and we're on the road against the Golden State Valkyries, who we saw earlier this year, and they dominated us 92 to 61. Shot the 3 ball well, and they were able to get the victory. Now this team has gone into a little bit of a funk. They went to the Commissioner Cup Finals, but then they got blasted by the Liberty 77 to 33, the least amount of points in a WNBA game ever. And they haven't been the same since then. They are now down to 8-14. And we'll see if we can continue our hot play at the expense of the newest team in the league, as we're here at the Chase Center for this action as we'll get underway with the tip win for the Uru. And on the first points, no, Hines Allen will miss the layup. Now here come the Valkyries. They do like to play fast as they completely push it up the court. And the first points of the night will go to Kayla Thornton, who comes over from the New York Liberty. Bueckers now going to get the whole night this night as she will score off the right hand. Her first official, well actually second official game, but our first in our books in the post-All-Star break portion of the season. Nice interception there. Bueckers finds Uru at the point of attack, and she will score. And Dallas takes the lead. 4-2 now as the handoff for Tiffany Hayes, who hop steps inside, uses their strength to push out of the way of Paige Bueckers, the former Las Vegas ace, with the score. Tied up at 4 apiece here. Billings to her right will score. Billings comes over from Phoenix, but did play last year to begin the season with the Wings. And she turns the ball over here. Nice interception by Uru. And Bueckers will get inside, and she will score. Paige Bueckers now the single game total score, I guess, for WNBA history. That sounded very wrong, but she put up 56 points in the game the week before the All-Star break. That is the most by a WNBA player in history. So we're hoping that continues into the second half of the season. So we're tied up at 8 apiece here as Harris will get the quick shot, and she will hit. Harris, a deadly 3-point shooter, and the Wings push their lead to 3. As there's a steal. Nope, actually they're going to call a reach-in foul on Hines Allen. I thought that was a clean ball. But instead the Valkyries will inbound the ball from the baseline. As this one's inbounded to Chin. And she's guarded by Bueckers inside for Billings. And Hines Allen picks up another foul on a reach-in. And because of those two quick fouls, she's going to have to sit for the rest of the first quarter because she's in foul trouble. Well, that doesn't stop Maddie Siegrist, last game's hero, from getting inside and scoring. Hopefully she continues to play really well. I'd love to see Maddie Siegrist take that next step in her development. And speaking of next step, Thornton with a hop step in the paint. Kayla Thornton shooting 44% from three. I know it was a two-point shot, but something to highlight thus far this season. Here's Chin hitting from straight away downtown. Jen getting some action in the rotation because the Valkyries are dealing with some injuries of their own, as Veronica Burton and Timmy Fagbinley are both out for Golden State, while we're missing Arike Gumbawale in our portion of the lineup. 15-13, now it's going to be 15 all, as there's a nice score inside. And with the first quarter winding down, Paige gets open from three, and she will hit from straight away. And because of that shot, we'll take a 3-point lead going into the end of the first quarter. That is 18-15 is your score, as Dallas looks to try to win their third game in a row, and the Golden State Valkyries trying to stop this skid. Second quarter action we go. Here's Aliti inside, kicks it over to Salon, and that will be a score for Janelle Salon, the undrafted player from France. 1 point lead now as Lopez Seneschal up the screen. We'll get those 2 points right back. Again, she doesn't get the most minutes, but I feel like she makes the most of them. Off the miss, Giselle Soter with the offensive board, and she will score. Hey, that rhymed. Wasn't supposed to, but it's sweet just like those points. Here's Lopez Seneschal with a steal now as she gets on the defensive end, and Miller cuts inside and scores in the basket. Dallas pushes their lead up by 7 now. Here's Miller again getting inside, and she will score. I highlighted in the first half of the recap episode that I feel like Miller has come into her own as one of the leaders of this second unit. And it was on display there with those two possessions. Here's James now getting inside. Not the biggest of players, but able to play dirty and play tough in the paint. On the next possession as the Valkyries hit from deep. There is that 44% from Thornton on display. Nice play there by James as she gets inside. And it's now a 10-point lead. The Dallas Wings on a 12-3 run. Next possession here for the Valkyries, though. They get a 3 right back on the base of Chin. 30-23. Here's Bueckers now with it. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Step back. Nice mid-range shot. I feel like Bueckers has been a little quiet at this game, but there's a nice shot there. That'll probably get her going. Averaging 20 points per game this year. Nice play inside. Good hop step by Tiffany Hayes, the 2024 6th Woman of the Year. Here's a nice pick and roll for Allen, who gets blocked by Billings, but Uru there to finish it up. That was a good defensive play, but we're still able to score. First half winding down. A 3 ball is in at the buzzer. Nice shot there by Kayla Thornton, and that'll bring us to the end of the first half. 36-31 in favor of Dallas, and what was a pretty good quarter for the Wings. The Wings are only up by 5 over the Valkyries. We'll see if they can continue that momentum into the second half. Both teams playing pretty good ball. I mean, both the shooting percentages are about the same. The rebounds the same. Assists in favor of the Valkyries. And both teams' top performers, Thornton and Uru, with 10 points apiece. It looks like a pretty back-and-forth action as we get into the second half. It'll be the Wings with the ball here as Bueckers gets inside, and she will miss the mid-range. As Hayes with the rebound. Here come the fast-paced Valkyries. Thornton finds Billings inside, who scores. Monique Billings with the first points of the second half. As it's now 36-33. On the other end, Uru battling her way inside. Here's a cutting Bueckers, and the number 1 overall pick out of UConn will score on the backdoor cut. Nice feed there from Uru. 38-33 now. Bueckers inside, and she will score with the left. And the Valkyries will call timeouts as Bueckers is up to 13 points here in this game. 7-point lead here. Here's Hayes being guarded by Harris, and that's good defense, but that's just even better offense. Tiffany Hayes averaging 12 points per game, a leading for the Valkyries. Here's Hines Allen, who gets into the paint and scores with a tough layup. 7-point lead here for the Wings. Nice steal by Allen into the hands of Harris. Pushes it up to Siegrist. Here comes Bueckers scoring at the basket. Beautiful fast break offense there by the Wings. Next possession, Uru with it as the defender goes for the ball. Uru misses, gets her own rebound, finds Siegrist, and that'll be a score. And that's just good play there. I feel like usually we take it back up, but keep your eyes open you might find an open player on your team. As Bueckers gets inside, she's up to 17 now. 13-point lead here for the Wings. There's that hop step again. It has been deadly against this Wings defense, as they will call a timeout. Currently up by 11. After a 2 points from the Valkyries, here they are again on their next possession. Off of a missed shot as they find a Mihiri at the point of attack, and she will score. Letitia Amihir from Atlanta with the score. 48-42. Nice move by Segrist in the post, and she will go underneath the defender. 8-point lead. Here's Segrist again with the basketball. This time showing her vision. Finds Yuru on the pick and roll. The Dallas Wings push the lead up by 10 once more, as that'll go to the end of the third quarter. 52-42. Dallas playing really good ball here in the post-All-Star break portion of the season. We'll see if they can close in on another victory in the final quarter of play. First possession here for the Wings, and it's Giesel Solder who gets started, scoring inside. Dallas shooting 50% tonight. As on the low block, there's a miss. Nice defense by Sundell. She finds Bueckers on the fast break over to Giesel Solder, who will kiss it off the glass. Hot start here for Luisa Giesel Solder with 4 quick ones. There's a nice 3 from the top of the key. That'll help. That was Cecilia Zandalasini from Minnesota. Former Link getting the 3 ball. Nice back down inside is Giesel Solder again, having a very good start to her fourth quarter. 6 points already for the forward. 60-48. How about 63-48? Diamond Miller pulls from 3. Now 64-48 as Harris inside. Tough shot, and she gets it to go, and it's an 18-point lead all of a sudden. This will be lead ballooning for the Wings, and Bueckers will make it an easy 20 with 4.5 minutes to go. That'll do it for this one. The Wings win 74-55 over the Golden State Valkyries. That's now 3 straight victories for Dallas as they move to 5-20, and the Valkyries will drop to 8-15. This is good play out of the Wings. It seems like all we were missing was just a couple of players, specifically in the front court, who could help us. And because of that, our defense has been better. Our offense has been flowing a little bit more. Bueckers hasn't had to shoulder as much as she did before the All-Star break. I mean, she still leads the team in scoring. But, I mean, it's just nice when you can play a little bit more free. 3 players, 11 points, topped it for the Valkyries, while Bueckers had 21. But Yuri with 13 and 13, I think she was player of the game. She played good. Good defense, good rebounding, good job on the pick and roll. A good win for the Wings. The Aces then beat the Lynx, and then we see the Mercury beat the Liberty 107-64. And then the next night, the Liberty go down again, so New York struggling post-All-Star break. They lose to the Sparks, and the Storm beat the Mystiques. Unfortunately, our winning streak ends at 3 as we drop the next game to the Aces, 84-63. Asia Wilson cooked us as we still continue to struggle against elite post players. The Valkyries then drop their next game against the Sun. The Sky then beat the Fever in the next chapter of that rivalry. And then we see the Mystiques beat the Mercury, who've been playing good basketball, and the Lynx over the Dream, which will take us into the next game in our season. The 5-21 Wings will play for the first time this season the New York Liberty, who have dropped a couple of games, but they are still the defending champions. They are the reigning Commissioner Cups champs from just a month ago. So this is a very good team, and we'll see them 3 times in the next 2 weeks. So hopefully we can start that stretch with a win here at home. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's been good to get a couple of victories. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. If you did, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more MyWNBA content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.